Hey there. Ready to step into a clothing warehouse? And I don't mean just like browsing the racks. We're talking about being the warehouse operator who keeps those styles flowing. From fabric rolls to finished pieces, we've got your roll catcher intel right here. And trust me, this isn't your average career guide.
Not at all. We're about to give you the edge in your interview by diving deep into common questions, but more importantly, how to craft answers that really impress. Think of it as reverse engineering the hiring manager's brain, but in a legal and ethical way, of course.
Okay, let's unpack this. We're going to tackle some real-life interview questions, pulled straight from RoleCatcher's resources. You know those curveballs that can make or break your chances? But we're not just giving you the answers. We're going to dissect why those answers work and how you can tailor them to your own experience.
And remember, authenticity is key. We don't want you to sound like a robot reciting pre-programmed responses. We want to help you showcase your genuine passion for warehouse operations and for the fashion industry itself.
Exactly. So let's jump right into it with question number one, a classic that often trips people up. Tell us of your previous warehouse experience. Now you might think, easy peasy, I've stacked boxes, I've managed inventory. But what are they really looking for here?
They're looking for you to connect the dots between your past roles and the specific demands of this job, especially in the world of clothing, even if you haven't worked in fashion before. Think about times you've demonstrated the key skills needed in a clothing warehouse organization. Attention to detail, maybe even a bit of trend spotting.
Okay, I'm intrigued by this trend spotting idea. Give me an example. Let's say my last job was at, I don't know, a bookstore. How do I spin that?
I like where your head's at. Let's say you noticed that graphic novels were flying off the shelves faster than you could restock them, right? You could mention that during the interview, not just as a fun fact, but to illustrate your awareness of inventory fluctuations and how you adapted to meet that demand. Maybe you even suggested creating a dedicated display to capitalize on the trend.
That's brilliant. So instead of just listing tasks, I'm telling a story that highlights my skills and connects to the fashion world's fast-paced, trend-driven nature.
Exactly. Now let's say you're staring at that question and your mind goes blank. This is where RoleCatcher's AI swoops in to save the day. Their CV and resume builder analyzes job descriptions to pinpoint those keywords employers are craving.
It's like having a secret decoder for those tricky applicant tracking systems, ATS, everyone's always talking about. But tell me more about how this AI helps me actually answer the question, not just fluff up my resume.
Great point. RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you tailor your interview answers too. Let's say you're struggling to remember specific examples from your past work experience. The AI can analyze your resume, identify relevant skills, and even suggest potential anecdotes that align with the job description.
Okay, that is seriously helpful, like having a personal interview coach on demand. But let's get back to those questions. Number two is all about accuracy, which seems pretty straightforward. How do you ensure accuracy when picking and packing orders?
This is where you go beyond the obvious. Yes, standards and checklists are important, but interviewers want to see you understand the bigger picture, especially when it comes to clothing. Think about the impact a wrong size or color could have on a customer, or how a damaged garment reflects on the entire brand.
Okay, so it's not just about getting the order right. It's about understanding the importance of quality control in the fashion industry. How would you recommend someone showcase that in their answer?
They could talk about their process for double-checking orders, maybe even mentioning specific details like garment tags or SKU numbers. If they've worked with delicate fabrics or high-value items before, that's a great opportunity to highlight their attention to detail and understanding of the care required in a clothing warehouse.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. It's all about showcasing those transferable skills in a way that resonates with the specific demands of the fashion industry. And you know what else really helps make your answer stand out?
What's that?
RoleCatcher's AI-powered feedback. You mentioned earlier that it can analyze your resume and suggest anecdotes, but it can also listen to your practice answers and give you personalized feedback.
Right. It's like having a virtual interview coach in your pocket. It can analyze your pacing, tone of voice, even your use of filler words, things we often don't notice ourselves.
It's like having a secret weapon to help you refine your delivery and make sure your message comes across loud and clear. Now let's move on to question number three, which is a big one in any fast-paced environment. How do you prioritize your tasks when there are multiple deadlines to meet?
This one is all about showing you can handle the heat. Warehouses are buzzing with activity, especially when new collections drop or big sales are happening. Hiring managers want to know you won't crumble under pressure.
So it's not enough to just say, I'm organized.
Yeah.
What kind of details would really impress in this scenario?
Think about mentioning specific tools or techniques you've used in the past. Maybe a color-coded spreadsheet for tracking orders, a task management app for staying on top of deadlines, or even a simple whiteboard for visualizing workflow.
Okay, so it's about demonstrating that you have a system for staying organized and that you're not just winging it. And what about those times when something unexpected pops up? How do you prove you can adapt and reprioritize on the fly?
That's where a compelling anecdote can really seal the deal. Think about a time when you had to juggle multiple projects or deal with a last-minute rush order.
Right. Tell a story that showcases your ability to stay calm under pressure, make quick decisions, and still deliver those stylish garments on time and in pristine condition. Okay, I'm loving these insights. Let's take a quick pause to gather our thoughts. But don't go anywhere, listeners. We'll be right back with more interview cracking tips after a quick break. Just kidding. We're diving right back in with question number 4.
All right, question number 4 takes a turn towards a crucial aspect of warehouse work: safety. How do you ensure safety procedures are followed?
This feels like a bit of a trick question. Because obviously safety is non-negotiable, right? But I bet there's more to it than just saying, I follow the rules.
You're absolutely right. It's about showcasing that you're not just safety conscious, but also a team player who takes responsibility for a safe work environment. Remember, in a clothing warehouse, you're dealing with everything from delicate fabrics to heavy machinery, so safety is paramount.
So instead of just reciting the company's safety manual, what would a stellar answer sound like?
A stellar answer would highlight proactive measures. For instance, you could talk about a time you identified a potential hazard, maybe a spill that wasn't cleaned up properly, or a box blocking a fire exit, and then describe the steps you took to address it.
That makes sense. It shows you're not just following protocols passively,
Yeah,
but actively looking out for potential risks.
exactly. You could even mention a time you suggested an improvement to an existing safety procedure, maybe based on your previous experience or observations. It demonstrates initiative and a genuine commitment to safety beyond just ticking boxes.
Okay, I'm getting the hang of this. Now I'm curious about how RoleCatcher's AI factors into this. Can it help me prepare for these kinds of safety-related questions?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze industry-specific safety regulations and common warehouse hazards, providing you with talking points and relevant examples to incorporate into your answers.
That's so smart. It's like having a safety inspector on hand to make sure you're covering all the bases. Now let's dive into question number 5. Can you give an example of a time you had to solve a problem in the warehouse? I love this one because it calls for a good story.
Storytelling is key here. This is your chance to showcase your problem-solving skills in action. And remember, even seemingly small problems can make for compelling anecdotes if you frame them correctly.
So instead of recounting a time I single-handedly averted a warehouse meltdown, I could talk about a time I noticed a discrepancy in the inventory and how I methodically tracked down the source of the error.
Exactly. Walk the interviewer through your thought process. How did you identify the problem? What steps did you take to investigate? And most importantly, what was the outcome?
Right. And it doesn't even have to be a major crisis. Maybe you figured out a more efficient way to organize a particular section of the warehouse, or streamlined a process that was causing bottlenecks.
Precisely. Focus on showcasing your analytical skills, your ability to think on your feet, and your dedication to finding practical solutions, even for seemingly minor issues. Because in a fast-paced environment like a clothing warehouse, those small wins can make a big difference.
Okay, I'm ready to channel my inner warehouse detective and solve some hypothetical fashion emergencies. But first, let's tackle question number 6, which brings us back to the heart of warehouse operations. How do you ensure inventory accuracy? Okay. Now, this one feels particularly crucial in the fashion industry, where trends are constantly evolving, and having the right items in stock at the right time is everything.
You hit the nail on the head. In the world of fast fashion, inventory accuracy isn't just about numbers. It's about keeping up with the ever-changing demands of style-conscious consumers. A misplaced shipment of sequins or a miscount of those must-have cargo pants could mean missed opportunities and disappointed shoppers.
So it's not enough to just say, I'm a stickler for details.
Yeah.
How can a candidate demonstrate their inventory management prowess in a way that really resonates with the fashion industry?
This is where showcasing your knowledge of industry-specific tools and techniques comes in handy. Mentioning systems used to track garment sizes, colors, and styles will impress. For instance, you could talk about your experience with cycle counting, stock taking, or using specialized inventory management software designed for apparel businesses.
Right. It's about demonstrating that you understand the nuances of managing clothing inventory. which goes beyond just tracking boxes of generic products. And this is another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer, right?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's AI can provide insights into industry-standard software and technologies used in clothing warehouses, giving you talking points for the interview. You can even use their AI-powered CV resume builder to highlight your experience with these tools and tailor your application to specific job requirements.
It's like having a personalized fashion tech advisor in your pocket. Now let's move on to question number 7, which takes us beyond the technical skills and into the realm of leadership. Can you provide an example of a time when you had to lead a team in the warehouse? Now, even if someone's not applying for a management role, this question can feel a bit daunting. Not all warehouse operators have had the chance to officially lead a team.
You're right, not all warehouse roles involve direct supervisory experience, but that doesn't mean you can't demonstrate leadership potential. This question is an opportunity to showcase your ability to take initiative, motivate others, and work effectively as part of a team.
So how can a candidate who hasn't officially held a leadership title still ace this question?
Focus on situations where you took on a leadership role, even in a small way. Maybe you trained new hires, mentored a colleague, or took charge of a project. The key is to highlight your leadership qualities: communication, delegation, problem solving, and the ability to inspire others.
That's a great point. It's about those everyday moments of leadership that happen even in non-managerial positions. Give me an example, something specific to a clothing warehouse that really illustrates this.
Sure, let's say a new shipment of delicate fabrics arrived, and you noticed some colleagues were struggling with the proper handling techniques. You could talk about how you took the initiative to demonstrate the correct procedures, maybe even creating a quick reference guide to ensure everyone was on the same page.
I love that. It showcases leadership, problem solving, and a genuine care for the products, all in one concise anecdote. Now, before we move on to our final question, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, the importance of authenticity in your interview answers.
Authenticity is key. Hiring managers can spot a canned response a mile away. They want to see the real you, someone who's genuinely passionate about the work and a good fit for their team.
So how can someone strike that balance between showcasing their skills and experience while still sounding genuine and authentic?
It's about letting your personality shine through. Don't be afraid to inject a little bit of your passion for fashion into your answers. And this is where RoleCatcher's AI feedback can be invaluable.
Tell me more about how the AI can help with authenticity. It seems like that's something that's inherently human.
You'd be surprised. RoleCatcher's AI can analyze your answers for things like tone of voice pacing and even your use of industry-specific jargon, ensuring you sound both knowledgeable and relatable.
It's like having a communication coach and a fashion stylist all rolled into one. Okay, I'm ready to tackle our final question with confidence and authenticity. Bring it on.
All right, bring on that final question.
All right, fashion fanatics, we're back with our final interview question. This one focuses on a crucial aspect of warehouse operations, especially when you're dealing with valuable garments and time-sensitive trends. How do you ensure that customer orders are fulfilled accurately and on time?
This question goes beyond just picking and packing. It's about understanding the entire ecosystem of a fashion warehouse from the moment those fabrics arrive to the moment those outfits head out the door.
So it's about demonstrating that you're not just task-oriented, but also customer-focused. After all, in the fashion world, a happy customer is a repeat customer.
Absolutely. When answering this question, think about the end customer eagerly awaiting their stylish purchase. Talk about your understanding of order fulfillment processes, quality control measures, and your commitment to meeting deadlines even during peak seasons.
So instead of just listing off the steps involved in shipping an order, I could talk about a time when I went above and beyond to ensure a customer received their order on time, maybe even mentioning a specific instance where I had to track down a missing item or correct an address error.
Exactly. Those real-life examples bring your commitment to customer satisfaction to life. And if you have experience with order management systems or shipping software specifically designed for the apparel industry, be sure to mention that as well.
Right, it shows you're tech savvy and understand the importance of using those tools to streamline the fulfillment process and keep those fashionistas happy. And you know what else can help you fine-tune your answer to this question?
I bet you're going to say RoleCatcher's AI.
RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze the job description and highlight the specific aspects of order fulfillment that are most important to that particular employer.
It's like having a personal career coach who knows exactly what those hiring managers are looking for. They can give you tailored feedback to ensure your answer hits all the right notes.
Talk about a secret weapon for acing those interviews. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've tackled some of the toughest interview questions a budding warehouse operator for clothing might face, and we've explored how RoleCatcher's AI can help you craft those perfect answers. But hey, before we sign off, remember, it's not just about memorizing answers, it's about showing them who you are, your passion for fashion, your eye for detail, your ability to keep those stylish threads moving. That's what's going to make you stand out from the crowd.
Couldn't agree more. So go out there, rock that interview, and show them what you're made of. You got this.
And don't forget to check out RoleCatcher. They've got your back every step of the way. Until next time, stay stylish and keep those career goals soaring.